alligator bait. Now, some of you might have seen this video of a black guy talking to a store owner about the history of black babies being used as alligator bait. So what I'm gonna do now is show you that not only was this done in this country, but in old newspapers, it was treated like a normal thing. Now first I'm gonna go to the Roanoke Daily Times, and this was on Friday, June 20th, 1890. And these newspapers are kind of old, so it's not gonna be as easy to read, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Babies for crocodile bait. Babies wanted for crocodile bait will be returned alive, says a Ceylon paper. If newspapers abounded in Ceylon as much as crocodiles do, advertisements worded like the foregoing will be common in their want column. As it is, the English crocodile hunter has to secure his baby by personal solicitation. He is often successful, for Ceylon parents, as a rule, have unbounded confidence in the hunters and will rent their babies out to be used as crocodile bait for a small consideration. Now, this doesn't make sense, because any person in their right mind would not give their baby out to be used as crocodile bait. You already know, if you've seen the video that I talked about earlier, that the guy said that a lot of times they just took the babies, okay? And they didn't pay the parents anything. And a lot of times the babies weren't returned, okay? But right here it's saying that, the newspaper is saying that the Ceylon parents, they have unbounded confidence that, in the hunters. So basically that they'll return their babies. Ceylon crocodiles suffer greatly from ennui. They prefer to lie quite still, soothed by the sun's glittering rays, and while away their lazy lives in meditation. But when a dark brown infant with curling toes sits on the bank and blinks at them, they throw off their cloak of laziness and make their preparations for a delicate morsel of Ceylonese humanity. So notice it says a dark brown infant. They use, babies, black babies, as alligator bait. When the crocodile gets about halfway up the bank, the hunter, concealed behind some reeds, opens fire. And the hungry crocodile has his appetite and life taken away at the same time, the baby being brought home safely to its loving mama. Ceylon Catholic Messenger. So it says baby being brought home safely to its loving mom and all that, but obviously that didn't happen every time, okay? That is a huge risk. It says a hungry crocodile. That's a huge risk to have a baby, close to a crocodile, and then have somebody, open fire and shoot while the baby's there. That's just ridiculous. The Washington Times, Saturday, June 13th, 1908. Baits alligators with pickaninnies. Zoo specimens coaxed to summer quarters by plump little Africans. New York, June 13th. Their greedy eyes eagerly fixed on two plump pickaninnies. The crocodiles and alligators in the New York Zoological Garden were decoyed from their winter quarters in the reptile house to the cool and shady tank just outside the building. It was the keeper's idea to bait the saurian with pickaninnies, knowing as he did their Epicurean fondness for the black man. Okay, so as two small colored children happened to drift through the reptile house among the throng of visitors, he pressed them into service. So the keeper, or the zookeeper or whatever, basically it was his idea to use these two black children as crocodile bait. Now look at this. It says the two crocodiles and all but 4 of the 25 alligators wobbled out as quickly as they could after the ebony mites, who darted around the tank, just as the pursuing fell with grunts of chagrin into the water, disappointed of their prey. 4 of the big alligators had to be lassoed and dragged to the summer quarters by ropes. One snapped at Snyder's leg and missed it by an inch. So these two two black children were basically used as alligator bait so that they could actually catch alligators and crocodiles. Okay, so, and it says one snapped at Snyder's leg and missed it by an inch. These could have easily have ate the children. The Washington Times, January 28th, 1900. Branson of Knoxville, an American artist, really enjoys obscurity. The phenomenal success of a photograph styled alligator bait, and its interesting story. Branson was relating to the writer the history of the now famous Negro photograph alligator bait, a row of smiling Negro babies on the shore of a sandy bayou. His partner showed it to him, declaring that it would prove popular and had it copyrighted. Mr. Branson took no special interest in it, regarding it as clever, perhaps, but rather low art. And this story is related to show from what very small beginnings very popular pictures grow. This photograph was placed in the window in Knoxville, and a prize of few dollars offered for the best name that might be suggested for the picture. Titles came in thick and fast. One young man who was working in a hardware store nearby called in from the door, "Put me down for alligator bait." So notice that it says there's a photograph that's basically showing a row of smiling Negro babies on the shore of a sandy bayou. So as you can see, this is very demonic, because you have people painting photographs, painting pictures of our people, depicting them as alligator bait. And it's not like anybody's saying, hey, there's something wrong with this. Alright, they're just acting like it's a normal thing. The Richmond Dispatch, Tuesday, October 11th, 1898. A bootblack's little deal. A dispatch reporter Sunday morning witnessed a little deal on the corner of 7th and Broad Streets, in which the two parties interested in the speculation were dusky bootblacks, one being that of a size known as alligator bait, and the other a much larger specimen of the tribe. So notice that they are using this word alligator bait to refer to our people. The Times Dispatch, Richmond, Virginia, Friday, July 7th, 1905. Frank Crawford forsakes music for speech other cases. Joe Mitchell and Joe Johnson, two pieces of alligator bait, stole a chunk of lead and were whipped in the presence of Sergeant Thomas at the police court yesterday morning. So here it is again. Black people being referred to as alligator bait. So as you should clearly be able to see now, black babies were actually used as alligator bait back in this time period, and it was known as a common thing. In fact, you even had people referring to our people as alligator bait, okay, because that's just how common it was. And nobody thought this was like a crazy thing that was going on. It was just something that happened. And they said in one of the newspapers that they would actually return the babies alive. A lot of times that would not happen. Just think about it. You got a baby that's close to an alligator. Okay. Now usually when you have bait, that bait usually gets eaten. Like if you're going out fishing, usually the fish would catches on to the bait, and then that's how you draw them in. Now these alligators, like the guy said in that video I was talking about, they ate some of these babies whole. Okay, a lot of the babies did not get returned back to their parents. So with the evidence shown in the newspapers, it should be clear that black people being used as alligator bait was a common thing that actually happened.